Well, good morning. Yesterday, what did we do yesterday? Well, Dad put together that combine, put the wobble box and everything on it. Sounds really good. I made a ton of bags, made like 20 bags yesterday. Caught up from the 5 days of combining we had. We finished swathing about 2 in the morning, Saturday morning, I think. And which brings us to here. So I don't know what happens in a battery when it fails to retain a charge overnight. So I came out yesterday. These batteries have been on and off. I took them out, I charged them, I put them back in, I tested them. They seem to still work with my little battery tester. But once I put them back in the tractor, they started until they didn't, and that was that. And then you could boost it and you would start it and that'd be fine. And as long as you kind of kept the tractor running all day, or maybe went in for lunch, say for an hour, and then came back out, it would start again. But if you left it overnight, it'd be stone dead in the morning. So starter seems to crank over very well, and the alternator is alternating because we put a digital readout. Let me put this guard on. Yeah, so I had put this digital readout in here a while ago because I wanted a USB port for the phone chargers, but I also wanted to see what the voltage was as opposed to just seeing that it was charging. So I know it was charging, so we're gonna just try new batteries. So it's only at 13.3 there now, but I'm almost certain it'll kick in here in a bit and charge. So the other thing was I've got everything off in this tractor, right? No radio, no lights, no anything. So there's no draw on this tractor. I don't know why the batteries were always dead. You know, there's nothing plugged into it externally, like running a electric over hydraulic solenoid or something. So we'll see. I'm gonna watch it today. I know it was up to like 14 yesterday, the charging. I'm assuming with new batteries and everything in there, it probably isn't. The alternator probably hasn't engaged. I could need a new alternator too, that's very possible, but we'll see. We're gonna take these batteries. Everything benefits from new. That's one thing that I realized. These batteries are 2021s, so they're not that old. You wouldn't think they would have failed. They are strong box batteries that I had put in there. But, you know, the tractor's also, you know, it's been dead a few times. It starts a lot. It starts, you know, every day, sometimes 2-3 times a day. So you can see it creeping up there now, 13.5. Of course, the voltmeter is going up as well, 13.6. So I think my alternator's good. Hopefully, I just had a bad battery. I hate 2 battery systems. The only thing worse than 2 battery systems is 4 or 6 or 8 or 10 or 50 battery systems, whatever's in the newest, latest, greatest equipment. But because what happens, or what seems to happen all the time, is even if one battery is good, the moment you start to crank, I don't know if it's amperage draw or whatever, the dead battery in the system just sucks the absolute life out of the other battery, and you get no capacity. So if there's any battery doctors in the queue here viewing or watching my channel, I'd be very curious to know inside of a battery, or what's the process, the theory behind a battery being able to be boosted and being able to like maintain itself while it's running with a constant charge from an alternator, but it can't store that power overnight. Like, it just dissipates and in the morning the battery's dead. Anyways, I'm gonna get going here. I got 4 or 5 bags to make, and then hopefully the sun's shining this afternoon and we can go thrash a bit of wheat. It's 2 o'clock now. Good afternoon, I guess. August 27th. And wow, what a morning it was for me. So anyways, Dad, he was busy. He's getting the combines fueled up, cleaned up, ready to go. That one has a new wobble box installed, and it's amazing how much that changed the sound, and we're pretty excited to see if it cuts way better. So, I mean, I think it will. She was having a little bit of trouble getting, you know, she had the odd one sticking out behind her, so, or sticking up behind her when she was cutting. So hopefully that's a big change. One thing, there was that drive arm that attaches to the wobble box. When she went to pick up a new wobble box, they didn't send a new drive arm. They actually told her it was fine, and it wasn't. So we did some reading, and of course we knew it wasn't good. So we ordered a new drive arm. We had to wait that day, and a new knife head drive and everything. If you're going to change your wobble box, I would strongly suggest you change the drive arm and everything, right? Unless the wobble box has dynamited, like blown up inside, and you can clearly see the shaft's broke or whatever. But there's so much play and potential travel from that stub shaft sticking out of the wobble box and those gears that attach it to that drive arm, that if you don't replace it all new, I think you're going to have a very premature wear, or you're not going to get it solved anyways. So Mother is just here. She was just sweeping out for the cab of this one. I expect her and Buddy will take this one and go. Corey and the girls will take the other one, probably, and go. I believe there's only about 20-30 acres left of our Parada wheat. That's running around, I was just going to say 45. I don't know. Like, it's between, I don't know. It's been a mix-up between where we've even been putting it. You know, 5-6 loads went through the dryer. A whole bunch went right into that 10,000. A bunch went into a 2,500. That tandem's still full. That International's full. That Super B is, I don't know, there's some in every hopper. It isn't full, but so I don't know how many bushels we got off yet. The bushel weight I did was 67 pounds. That's very optimistic for us. We're generally always content with our yield, even if it's bad, because that's kind of the way we farm. We don't try to grow a 110 bushel wheat crop. We just try to grow a wheat crop that can make us some money. So the yield is irrelevant. All we really, I mean, you shouldn't say it's irrelevant. We don't worry too much about it. We try to go for the quality, the bushel weight, and then it's way easier to market, way easier to move, and then you hope the yield follows. But anyway, 45 on the year, if that's what it's running, is good. I actually think in my head it's probably running a little better, maybe even 50 plus, because we seem to have a lot of wheat in the yard for only 200 acres combine, if they even have that much. Well, they'd have that much. Okay, so anyway, that's that. It's kind of just a ramble, but anyways, that's the way it goes for us. I was making feed. I made a whole bunch of feed yesterday. I had 4 or 5 bags to make today. And then the shear pins blew. Not only did they blew, they actually blew this shaft up. It's a 2-lobe shear pin system, so one on each side. It blew one lobe right off. So I actually had to go get the drain back and drain back that tub out. And what I found in there was like an actual rope was wrapped around that vertical auger. Now that rope by itself probably wouldn't have broke the shear pin, but due to the fact there was 2 tons of molasses barley mix in there, that's quite sticky, provides quite a bit of drag on the auger. Plus the fact that the rope was wrapped around it. Yeah, she just wasn't going anywhere. So anyways, got that backed out, got that all cleaned up. And I'm down to my last bag here. And we will hopefully by the end of the day have the Parada wheat done, moved on to the Viewfield wheat. And maybe I can give an accurate update on how the Parada yielded, because we'll be done, we'll know what trucks are full and what bins are full, and then maybe even see what the Viewfield's running. So then the other thing I had done this morning is I changed out those batteries. So Corey ran to town yesterday, had to get her screen on her phone fixed, and then actually took Emmy in to get her hair done. I guess it was a good thing Dad didn't go with her, because I wouldn't let her pick as many colors as she wanted. Corey only let her pick 2, but hey, it was very, very, very pretty hair. So anyways, she picked up new batteries, and that solved the problem in the tractor. Tractor fires over, starts good. So I took the old batteries out, took them over, Dad tested them, and just like I was saying, I don't know what happens, but one battery is no good, and the other battery is good. So as soon as you go to crank it, the bad battery just takes all the life out of the good one. You never have success at that point. So at least we know it wasn't the starter, it wasn't the wires, wasn't whatever. It was in fact one bad battery. Okay, so lunch has been ingested. Raindrops are starting to fall. It rained a little bit twice this morning and this afternoon already. I don't think anything stuck, right? We've only got like a 1/4 inch of rain since the weekend till now. Like, it's Tuesday, so we're not saturated by any means. So they're gonna go off. They're just gonna finish whatever that wheat is, as long as the moisture monitor in that one combine doesn't read 50 or something, which it shouldn't, because the wheat was basically overly dry, and the little bit of rain we got today, it probably didn't even stick. I mean, it's probably dry. There's a bit of a breeze. So I'm going to start unloading trucks that were full from when we stopped combining on Friday. So I don't know what's in Carl. We'll go over there and check. And then we're going to dump what's in the tandem right in the dryer, because, as I kind of said in my last video, it's one of the reasons why it's nice to have these extra little trucks. So we drive them out there, they go around the bush, they go get the stuff that's lodged, they go get the areas that they can actually see from the cab that have more green in them, and then they get those and they put them right in these little trucks, so we bring them right back, we dry them. Once they have all that cut out of the field, then we bring Carl out, and he's got 4 hoppers. So if everything's dry, they just fill them up, and they can kind of play it. See, there's something in this. This one's, it's not full, but there's something in that one too. That's why I don't know what this is yielding. This back trailer's like full. Nothing in that one. So there's bushels. What number? I don't know, but there's bushels in Carl. I don't even know what it's saying. I'm getting all confused. Oh. But the kids elected not to go this time. They didn't want to go ride, so they're going to stay in the yard. Raindrops are hitting me in the face. We'll get that finished off out there. I'm going to unload the tandem into the dryer and let it circulate and then test it. They said it could be dry, so we'll see. And then we will go up to the bin yard and set those augers back up. We pulled them out and shut the lids because it was supposed to rain buckets, but then it only ended up raining 1/4 inch. I wonder what the odds are this is going to start. So we actually unhooked this regulator because I don't think these need regulators, right? A new style alternator. So we'll see. Hasn't been running for a few days. Just like, and it's stuff like that that really cements an argument for guys that argue against the brand new all the time, right? People come out, oh man, you got to buy new stuff. You see how easy that started? That's, that 4440 is like 10, 15 years newer than that. And, our new 4-wheel drives, they're always dead. Carl, he spent all spring here needing to be boosted. That old truck shot, I don't even know where that battery that's in it came from or how old it is. It just fires right up. Seeing as how we're in the business of seeing if stuff starts, let's see if this old girl starts. Oh yes! Amazing! Well, good morning. It's a sopping wet one here this morning. Water on the roof of the cars and everything, water on the tarps. So there's nothing gonna happen till probably 2-3 this afternoon, but that's okay because we got a little bit to dry. So they did go out yesterday. They had like 20 acres left to finish. They took both combines and they got this front trailer full and then a dump or 2 in the back. I can't remember what they said. So that's all right. I can dry that here. It only takes about an hour a load. Basically, you fill it up, you run it through 3 or 4 cycles, and then it's ready. See, we don't play the slow drying game. We just give her, like, heat that grain up, get that moisture out, cool it down, stick it in the bin. there's a lot of guys do the whole slowly warm it up, never go over 30 degrees. Wow, we don't care. I've got a bin full already of dried wheat that come right off the field dry, so I can save that for seed. And hopefully when we get into the other variety, we can do the same, grab another 2,000 bushels of that. Like, we don't need 2,000 bushels of seed, but if you're gonna start a bin, you may as well fill it up, right? So that's what I try to do every year, is grab grain that's really nice looking, matured on its own, dried on its own, and I keep that separate from the bulk of the grain, keep that separate for seed. And then the rest of this stuff that we just dry the crap out of, we'll just shove it in our big 10, 12,000 bushel bins, and that'll just go commercially, right, either to the elevator or grind it up or whatever. So I was playing the game in no start this morning, which was frustrating. When I brought my yellow truck home from out west yesterday, or the day before, whenever that was, when I had to fuel up my swather, I switched batteries in the yard because we haven't fired up that truck for a long time, so it was just sitting there dead. I switched batteries, fired right up. When I was coming home, I noticed the old girl was overheating, but you know, I was running her pretty hard, kind of driving like a teenager, so I thought it was maybe just me. When I popped the hood this morning to switch the batteries, I noticed the fan belt had left the chat. So not only was it not charging, it was not cooling either. So anyways, once I get done with my breakfast here, I'm just going in to have, I will come out, we'll find a fan belt for that truck, we'll fuel it up again. I'm gonna have to fuel up my grain drying tractor. This will need, like, say, hour and a half in the dryer. Then we'll get it unloaded. We'll get set back up into the big bins up in the bin yard, and then we'll be able to unload things, get the trucks empty. So maybe by 2 o'clock this afternoon, the girls can go and grab another load. All right, well, I was in, had some breakfast, and then come out to sample this wheat. Look at this cat in here. Okay, so anyways, this is our moisture meter. It's a, I don't know, maybe arguably the most common one. Like, it's, you see these kind of everywhere, these 919s or whatever they were. Get out of there, cat. anyways, you set it to calibrate, line this orange needle all the way up to the left with this one. You don't have to do this every time, once every few days or whatever. Then to operate, zero this out, get yourself 250 grams of wheat. So you know that because the chart over here is going to tell you to get that much. Dump it in. Push the button. And there you go. There's where your needle goes to. Now you want to turn this till that needle's all the way back to the left. Bringing us to what? 40, we'll call it 41. I always go higher. The higher the number, the tougher it is. You want to look in here, it's saying this wheat is about 30 degrees. So we go to, what did I say, 41? 41, 30 degrees, 12.6. Dry is 14.5. So that's cool, or that's dry. We're gonna go set it to cool. Get cats all over the place around here. They are slowly going. The other thing I like to do is just check a bushel weight for my own knowledge. This is a half-liter container. There's a cone that's supposed to go on top of it. I don't know if we ever had the cone. I've never seen it, but we don't have it now. And then they're gonna tell you, oh, you can't do it without the cone. That's just nonsense, because all you do is just gently dump some in there. When the elevator does it, they actually have cleaned out the unthrashed ones and everything, so they get a better, and you do want it to overflow. That's why I do it in there. Take yourself some sort of a striker and go, you don't want to rattle anything. Just want to get it on there. Go once across, then you weigh it. 400. Now you go around to this page, wheat, Avery bushels, 400, 65.7. I had one that was 409. So very happy with that. We've been told quite a bit lately that lots of grain is coming up light bushel weight. So the standard for wheat is 60 pounds per bushel. So if you have something that's 66 pounds per bushel, you're right, you have 10% more. So that's the importance of bushel weight. Also, if you're gonna target the feed market, low bushel weight is not good. You don't want low bushel weight in the feed market. Cattle, horses, pigs, goats, sheep, they all do way better on heavy grain. That's just the way it is. I was reading some articles, which, of course, coming from a position of absolutely no educational background on this, but just hearing from other farmers. One second. There's a point, if the bushel weight is low enough that it has almost no feed value. You just kind of, if you think of it simply, these animals, there's not enough nutritional value, mass in that grain. They can't even eat enough to get their belly full and then convert that energy, protein, starch, all that stuff to make, like, to gain weight. That's what lots of producers tell me. They fear feeding light grain. They just don't see the gains. And then on the other side of that, I actually just read an article last night because I like to read up on this stuff because I don't know about it. I don't know much about it. I'm not a livestock producer. But what I read the other night was kind of contradicting to that, and they're saying you can do just fine with light grain. So I'm not 100% sure. If you're watching this and you're a producer, let me know, what do you think? Can your cattle, do they do just as well on 38-pound barley as they do on 55-pound barley? I would think they don't, but let me know. Anyways, I'm gonna go feed these cats and then let that cool down for a second, find a fan belt for my international grain truck, or fuel truck there, and see where the day takes us.